जय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जू की जय। नित्य विष्णु विष्णुपार अष्टोत्तर शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जय। नित्य विष्णु विष्णुपार अष्टोत्तर शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्य विष्णु विष्णुपार अष्टोत्तर शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्य विष्णु विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिशिमार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्य विष्णु विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्य विष्णु महाभागवत श्री गौरकिशोर बाबाजी महाराज की जय। नित्य विश्व श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। नित्य विष्णु वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबाजी महाराज की जय। श्री रूपानुगौरिया गुरु वर्ग की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ शारद गोसाई प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जय। नाम जय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल ब्रज मंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। वन सेकेंड। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदाता गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माया की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद्-भागवतम की जय। श्री विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर की जय। Sārārtha-darśinī वृत्ति की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। धन्यवाद प्रणाम everybody. Gargaraj ji, धन्यवाद प्रणाम प्रद्युम्न प्रभु, मंत्र मूर्ति माता जी, रूप मंजरी दीदी, Raseshwari माता जी. Yes, I'm fine. Thanks, Rup Manjari. Nitai. Alright, so let's do Mangalacharan. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Śrīmad Bhakti Vedanta Narayanitti Namine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतमपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकातर आजुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुस्तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। शृण्वतं स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तन हृदन्तस्थो ह्यभद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृत्सतम्। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भगवतसेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। तवैवास्मि न जीवामि त्वया विना iti vigyaya radhe tvam nayamang charanantikam bhaktya vihina aparada lakshay kshitashtakamadhitaranga madhe kripa mai tvam sharanam prapanna vrinde namaste charanaravindam Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Haribo, Indira Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. So everybody, today the reading is going to go overtime. Maybe like 15 minutes overtime. So I'm going to just get right into it. Oh, and Roop Manjari, how are you feeling now? I've never asked you because you and Nitai had a cold, right? Yeah, I hope you're feeling better. Okay, so Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva, this is what we read yesterday. In the course, I did share my screen. In the course of describing such pastimes of Krishna, Shukadeva Goswami also described the prayers by the personified Vedas, glorifying the personal and impersonal aspects of Lord Narayan. Thereafter, at Parikshit's request, Shukadeva Goswami described why Lord Vishnu's devotees are poor and Lord Shiva's devotees are opulent, while their worshipful lords are otherwise. The material opulences of Shiva's devotees are products of false ego in three modes. Lord Vishnu, however, is transcendental to the modes. Thus, his devotees also become transcendental. When the Lord feels special mercy for someone, he gradually deprives him of his wealth and frustrates his further attempts to gain wealth. When such a poverty-stricken person's relatives abandon him, he will befriend the Lord's devotees and traverse on the spiritual path. Once a demon named Vrika went to Kedarnath and worshipped Lord Shiva by offering pieces of his own flesh as oblations into the fire. Vrika desired a boon that the person whose head he would touch should die. Obliged, Shiva granted the boon, but the wicked demon immediately wanted to test it by putting his hand first on Shiva himself. Shiva fled for his life and approached Lord Vishnu. Vishnu then appeared as a young boy before Vrikasura and spoke to him in charming words that he shouldn't trust Shiva's words just because he had become like a Sorry. 1 second. I have something stuck in my throat and it's like, I'm gonna try to drink some water. Okay, so Vishnu then appeared as a young boy before Vrikasura and spoke to him in charming words that he shouldn't trust Shiva's word because he had become just like a hobgoblin since Prajapati Daksha cursed him. The Lord incited Vrika to test Shiva's boon by putting his hand on his own head. Bewildered, the foolish demon did so and perished. Thus, Lord Vishnu saved his dear devotee Shiva. Okay, so that's what we read up to yesterday, right? Okay, glad to hear that, Manjari. I meant to ask you personally, and things have been so busy here, I completely slipped my mind. Okay, so chapter 89. Krishna and Arjuna retrieve a Brahman's sons. Shri Shuka Uvacha Svatyastate Rajan Rishaya Satramasata Vitarka Samabhut Tesham Trishvadhishe Shuko Mahan. Shukadeva Goswami said, "Once, O king, as a group of sages were performing a Vedic sacrifice on the banks of the Saraswati river, a controversy arose among them as to which of the three chief deities is supreme." Sārārtha-darśinī commentary by Śrīla Viśvanātha Cakravartī Ṭhākura. In this chapter, the supremacy of Vishnu over Brahma and Shiva is shown through a test by Bhrigu Muni. The superiority of Sri Krishna even above Lord Vishnu is shown by Lord Mahavishnu's stealing a Brahman's sons. Beginning with the words Saraswatyas tate rajan, another story is told to demonstrate that Lord Vishnu alone should be served because he is supreme above all. That's interesting. So we're at the second to the last chapter of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and it ends with showing the supremacy of Krishna. Tasya jigyasaya vai bhrigum brahma sutam nripa tajgyaptyai preshayam asu how do you do that? So bhagad brahmana sabham. How do you do BHJ? That's so funny. Okay. Eager to resolve this question, O king, the sages sent Lord Brahma's son Bhrigu to find the answer. First he went to his father's court. Commentary. The sages sent Bhrigu to the court of Brahma in order to find an answer. Taj Gyanaya. An answer to who's superior of the three. Na tasmai pravanam stotram chakre sattva parikshaya tasmai chukroda bhagavan prajvalan svena tejasa. To test how well Lord Brahma was situated in the mode of goodness, Bhrigu failed to bow down to him or glorify him with prayers. The Lord became angry at him, inflamed into fury by his own passion. So Brahma didn't pass the test for who is the most superior. Commentary. Bhrigu did not bow down in order to test Brahma's quality of sattva gun, or his greatness. Sattva parikshaya. He did the sattva test. Pariksha means test, right? Sa atmanyutitam manyum atmajayatmana prabhu ashishamar yatha vahnim svayonya varinatmabhu. Though anger toward his son was now rising within his heart, Lord Brahma was able to subdue it by applying his intelligence, in the same way that fire is extinguished by its own product, water. Commentary. Out of anger, Brahma intended to kill his son Bhrigu. As fire is subdued by that which has fire itself, as fire is subdued by that which has fire itself as its cause of generation, namely water, similarly, Brahma subdued his anger by his own expansion, his son. Or, just as fire is extinguished by its cause, water, so Brahma extinguished his anger by its cause, the mind. Since we see Agni Dev, the god of fire, is called Asu Yoni, born from air, and Kapita Yoni, born from wood, it is a well-known fact that sometimes fire is generated from water. Okay, is that because trees are generated from wood? Sorry, I meant to say trees are generated from water, and so then the wood from the tree can make a fire? I don't know. And you need air to make fire also, so those two things. Okay, that makes sense. Tata kailasamagamat Satang Devo Maheshwara Parirabdhum Samarebha Uthaya Bhrataram Muda. Bhrigu then went to Mount Kailas. There, Lord Shiva stood up and happily came forward to embrace his brother. Naichatvam asyutpataga eti deva shukopaha shulam udyamya tang hantum arebhe tigmalochana patitva padayor devi santvayam asatangira ato jagama vaikuntham yatra devo janardana. But Bhrigu refused his embrace, telling him, "You are a deviant heretic." At this, Lord Shiva became angry, and his eyes burned ferociously. He raised his trident and was about to kill Bhrigu when Goddess Devi fell at his feet and spoke some words to pacify him. Bhrigu then left that place and went to Vaikuntha, where Lord Janardana resides. So Shiva didn't pass the test either. Commentary. Upon testing Brahma by committing a mental offense to him, Bhrigu understood that Brahma could not overcome the mode of passion. Bhrigu then went to the superior Shiva and committed a more serious offense by verbally insulting him. This is described in 2 verses. Bhrigu saw the mode of ignorance in Shiva and the mode of goodness in his expansion Parvati. By testing Shiva, Bhrigu understood that he could not overcome his ignorance. Then Bhrigu left Mount Kailas and went to Vaikuntha, Shvetadvip, where he committed an even greater offense, namely a bodily offense against Lord Vishnu, the best person. Just checking the comments. Oh. Haribo, Madhavi Didi, and Pavatarani, or Nri Hari Prabhu, whoever that is watching. To both of you. Shayanam Shriya Utsange Padavakshasya Dayat Tata Uthaya Bhagavan Saha Lakshmya Satam Gati Swatalpar Avaruhyata Nanama Shirasa Munim Ahate Swagatam Brahman Nishidatra Sanekshanam Ajanatam agatanva kshantum arhatana prabho. So there, Bhrigu went up to the Supreme Lord, who was lying with his head on the lap of his consort, Shri, and he kicked him on the chest. He kicked the Supreme Lord on the chest. Oh my God. The Lord then rose, along with Goddess Lakshmi, as a sign of respect. Coming down from his bedstead, that supreme goal of all pure devotees bowed his head to the floor before the sage and told him, "Welcome, Brahman. Please sit in this chair and rest a while. Kindly forgive us, dear master, for not noticing your arrival." Commentary. Not only did Bhrigu commit an offense to the Lord, but he did it while Vishnu was lying on a flower bed with his head in his wife's lap. For Bhrigu to strike Lord Vishnu in this position, and not with his hand, but with his foot, was worse than any other offense Bhrigu could have imagined. Bhrigu did this in order to see if Vishnu was in the mode of goodness. However, he saw Vishnu display not even ordinary goodness, but rather Shuddha Sattva, transcendental goodness. This is explained in 4 verses. The phrase Bhagavan Sahalakshmya, together with the goddess of fortune, implies that even though this offense happened when Vishnu was with his consort Lakshmi, moreover in the seclusion of her private quarters, and moreover with the possibility that Bhrigu could have seen Lakshmi Devi's limbs, yet, nonetheless, she did not even have a trace of anger against the sage. This is a function of the mode of goodness. Because Lakshmi understood the mentality of her beloved consort, she did not feel angry within herself, even when she saw Vishnu being insulted. This is the function of transcendental goodness. The phrase Satam Gati indicates that even the associates of Vishnu who reside in Vaikuntha have the same nature. I will not accept this seat from you since you I will not accept this seat from you since you failed to honor me by standing up and coming forward to greet me. In response to such an anticipated statement from the sage Bhrigu, Vishnu says, I have committed an offense to you. Your mercy is my only shelter, so kindly forgive us for not noticing your arrival. You know, on Jagannath there is the mark of Bhrigu's foot from when he kicked him. Let's see, Jagannath Bhrigu foot print. Maybe that we'll get it like that. Anyways, if you see Jagannath Vigraha, you'll see a little tiny foot mark on him. For some reason, it's not coming up. Anyhow, doesn't matter. Anyhow, doesn't matter. Okay. Punihi sahalokamam lokapalangschamargatan padodakena bhavatas tirtanam tirtakarina adyaham bhagavan lakshmya asame kanta bhajanam vatsyatyorasime bhutir bhavat pada hatanghasa. Please, Vishnu continued, please purify me, my realm, and the realms of the universal rulers devoted to me by giving us the water that has washed your feet. This holy water is indeed what makes all places of pilgrimage sacred. Today, my lord, I have become the exclusive shelter of the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi. She will consent to reside on my chest because your foot has rid it of sins. Commentary. Lord Vishnu said, if you have forgiven this grave offense, then please purify us with the water that has washed your feet. This holy water is indeed what turns rivers like the Ganga into places of pilgrimage. Vishnu's forgiveness for even such a severe offense committed by Bhrigu is a sign of Sattvagun. On the other hand, Vishnu's thinking himself an offender and his pacifying Bhrigu is a sign of Shuddha Sattva, transcendental goodness. Responding to this, Bhrigu said, but for giving pain to you and your beloved consort Lakshmi, I will have to live in hell for a whole day of Brahma. I am such a fallen, sinful Brahman that I put my filthy foot chest. Replying to Bhrigu's words of remorse, Lord Vishnu said, O dear sage, O ocean of mercy, you have actually made us both most happy today. Oh, interesting. Okay, Nrihari is in Los Angeles and Pavatarani is in Vrindavan. Cool. But okay, so Manjari says, in South India they say Lakshmi got, I don't know what you're saying there, got it? Anyways, they say that this is how Balaji gets married. Right? Oh, that's how Lakshmi got mad. And this, okay, they say that Lakshmi got mad and this is how Balaji gets married. Sorry. Lakshmi Kalyanam is a popular dance subject. They both incarnate and he wins her back. Huh, interesting. To check that out. Okay, Shishuka Uvacha Evam Bruvane Vaikunte Bhrigustan Mantraya Gira Nirvritas Tarpitas Tushnim bhaktyutkanto shrilochana. Shukadev Goswami said, Bhrigu felt satisfied and delighted to hear the solemn words spoken by Lord Vaikuntha. Overwhelmed with devotional ecstasy, he remained silent, his eyes brimming with tears. Commentary. Pleased by the Lord's solemn words, Bhrigu remained silent, unable to respond as his throat was choked up with tears. Thus, according to the opinion of ancient authorities, Bhrigu did not commit an offense, since he was like a puppet being made to dance on the stage of the Lord's transcendental pleasure pastimes by the puppeteer named Vishnu. Punascha satramavrajya munimavadinam svanubhutam asheshena rajan Bhrigur avarnayat. O king, Bhrigu then returns to the sacrificial arena of the wise Vedic authorities and described his entire experience to them. Tan nishamyata munayo vismita mukta samshaya bhuyang sam shaddadhur vishnu yata shantir yato bhayam dharma shakshar yato jnanam vairagyam chataranvitam aishvaryam chashtada yasmad yashaschatma malapaham muninam nyastadandanam shantanam samachestasam akinchananam sadhunam yamahu paramam gatim sattvam yasya priyamurtir brahmanastvishta devata bhajantyana shisha shanta yangva nipunabuddhaya. Amazed upon hearing Bhrigu's account, the sages were freed from all doubts and became convinced that Vishnu is the greatest Lord. From him come peace, fearlessness, the essential principles of religion, detachment with knowledge, the eightfold powers of mystic yoga, and his glorification which cleanses the mind of all impurities. Anyways, okay. He is known as a supreme destination for those who are peaceful and equipoised, the selfless wise saints who have given up all violence. His most dear form is that of pure goodness, and the Brahmanas are his worshipable deities. Persons of keen intellect who have attained spiritual peace worship him without selfish motives. Commentary for text 15. The sages understood Vishnu, the Supreme, from whom comes the direct manifestation of Dharma, characterized by hearing, chanting, and other activities, knowledge, or realization of the personality of Godhead, and along with that, detachment. The word shakshad should be to accompany all the items in this list. Shakshad means direct, so directly this, directly that. That by Krishna Bhakti one easily attains transcendental knowledge and detachment is stated in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 11.2.42. Bhakti pareshanu bhavo viraktir anyatra chaisha trika ekakala prapadyamanasya yatashnatasyus tushti pushti kshur apayo nughasam. Devotion, direct experience of the Supreme Lord, and detachment from other things. These three occur simultaneously for one who has taken shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in the same way that pleasure, nourishment, and relief from hunger come simultaneously and increasingly with each bite for a person engaged in eating. This verse shows that devotion, realization of the Lord, and renunciation appear simultaneously. There is an alternative reading of Chaturvidam for Tad Anvitam. Then the idea is that this is not dry renunciation, but rather renunciation of the four ordinary goals of human endeavor, Artha, Dharma, Kama, and Moksha. In the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 3.25-37, Kapila Muni says that the eightfold mystic powers of yoga are also coincidental fruits of devotional service. Ato vibhutim mama maya vinastam aishvaryam ashtangam anupravrittam shriyam bhagavatim vasprihayanti bhadram parasya me te shnuvate hiloke. Because he is completely absorbed in thought of me, my devotee does not desire even the highest benediction obtainable in the upper planetary systems, including Satyaloka. He does not desire the eight material perfections obtained from mystic yoga, nor does he desire to be elevated to the kingdom of God. Yet even without desiring them, my devotee enjoys, even in this life, all the offered benedictions. Also from Vishnu comes fame, yashash, which destroys all contamination in the mind of the hearer. Text 16. This verse names three kinds of transcendentalists: the Munis, the Shantas, and the Sadhus. The scriptures say that Vishnu is the shelter of those striving for liberation, those who have attained liberation, and those who are serving the Lord in devotion. Text 17. Though Vishnu is transcendental to the three modes of nature, he is affectionate to those in the mode of goodness. Among them, he is even more affectionate to the Brahmanas, whom he honors as his own worshipable deities. Indeed, even the desireless saints, the peaceful sages, and the intellectuals worship Vishnu alone. Trivedhakrityastasya rakshasa asura sura guninya mayaya shrishta sattvam tat tirtha sadhanam. The Lord expands into three kinds of manifest beings: the Rakshasas, the demons, and So the three kinds of beings are the Rakshasas, the demons, and the demigods, all of whom are created by the Lord's material energy and conditioned by her modes. But among these three modes, it is the mode of goodness which is the means of attaining life's final success. Are the humans demons? Because I'm so confused. I don't know what the difference between Rakshasas and demons are. I thought demons were Rakshasas. I thought there's many kinds of demons and one kind of demon is a Rakshasa. Anyways, we'll see. Commentary. But Vishnu is beyond the gunas, so how then can he be affectionate to someone in the gunas if he's beyond them? He should be indifferent to everything concerning the guna. The gunas is the modes of material nature. This objection is answered in this verse. Although the Lord expands into three kinds of manifest beings conditioned by the modes of nature, the mode of goodness, according to Srila Sridhar Swami, is the means of attaining the goal of life, tirtha sadhanam. From the point of view of benefiting the jivas, sattva gun appears to be dearer to the merciful, sustaining Lord, though actually it is not. In reality, Vishnu is indifferent to all the gunas, all the modes of nature. Shri Shuka Uvacha. Just checking the comments. Oh yeah. Why were they sitting there waiting for her? I have no idea. Hare Krishna Ashu Singh. Okay, so Shri Shuka Uvacha Itam Saraswata Vipra Nrenam Sangshayanuttaye Purushasya Padam Bhoja Sevaya Targatim Gata. Shukadev Goswami said, the learned Brahmanas living along the river Saraswati came to this conclusion in order to dispel the doubts of all people. Thereafter, they rendered devotional service to the Supreme Lord's lotus feet and attained his abode. Commentary. Thus engaged in dispelling the doubts of men, the sages attained liberation. Shri Sutta Uvacha Etetan Munitan Tanas Tanayasya sorry Et Etetan Muni Tanayasya Parmaganda Piyusham Bhava Bhayabhit Parasa Pungsa Shushlokam Shravana Putai Pibatta Bhikshanam Pantodva Brahmana Parishramam Jahati. Sorry, I don't know what the meter was for that. Sri Sutta Goswami said, thus, did the... Wait, what? There's no question mark. Okay. Sri Sutta Goswami said, Thus did this fragrant nectar flow from the lotus mouth of Shukadeva Goswami, the son of the sage Vyasadeva. This wonderful glorification of the Supreme Person destroys all fear of material existence. A traveler who constantly drinks this nectar through his ear holes will forget the fatigue brought on by wandering along the paths of worldly life. Wow, finally come back to Sutta Goswami again. As a traveler who constantly drinks this nectar through his ear holes will forget the fatigue brought on by wandering along the paths of life. Commentary. The phrase Parmaganda Piyusham, nectar with the aroma of lotuses, implies that since this narration is nectarian, it is an effective tonic to cure the disease of illusion. And since it has the fragrance of a lotus, it attracts the bee-like devotees. Shri Shuka Uvacha Ekada Dvaravatyam tu Vipra Patnya Kumaraka Jata Matro Bhuvam Sprishtva Mamara Kila Bharata. Shukadeva Goswami said, once in Dwarka, a Brahman's wife gave birth to a son, but the newborn infant died as soon as he touched the ground, O Bharata. Commentary. In this chapter, Lord Vishnu has been glorified as the Supreme Godhead. Now, Shukadeva Goswami relates one story to highlight Shri Krishna's unequaled position as the topmost among all the forms of Godhead. Oops. One second. Viprogrihitva mritakam rajadvarupadhayasa idam pravacha vilapan aturo dinamanasaha. The Brahmana took the corpse and placed it at the door of King Ugrasena's court. Then, agitated and lamenting miserably, he spoke the following. Brahmadvisha shatadhiyo lubdhasya vishayatmana kshatra bandho karmadoshat panchatvam megator bhaka. The Brahmana said, this duplicitous, greedy enemy of Brahmanas, this unqualified ruler addicted to sense pleasure, has caused my son's death by some discrepancies in the execution of his duties. Commentary. The Brahmana said, I have no fault. Therefore, it is the king's fault that my sons have died. That's kind of harsh. Himsa viharandripatin dushilam ajitendriyam praja bhajantya siddhanti taridra nitya dukkita. Citizens serving such a wicked king who takes pleasure in violence and cannot control his senses are doomed to suffer poverty and constant misery. Evam dvitiyam viprashis tritiyam tven vam evacha visrijya sa nripadvari tangatham samagayata. The wise Brahman the same tragedy with his second and third child. Each time, he left the body of his dead son at the king's door and sang the same song of lamentation. Why is he putting it all on the king? Commentary. The Brahmana loudly declared such words as, "You are a hater of Brahmanas," when his second and third sons died. He put it at the king's door, the dead baby. That's so intense. Tam Arjuna upashrutya karhichit keshavantike parete navame bale brahmanam samabhashata. Kingsvir brahmangstam nivase ihanasti dhanurdhara rajanya bandurete vai brahmana satramasate. When the ninth child died, Arjuna, who was near When the ninth child died, Arjuna, who is near Lord Keshav, happened to overhear the Brahmana lamenting. Thus Arjuna addressed the Brahmana. "What is the matter, my dear Brahmana? Isn't there some lowly member of the royal order here who can at least stand before your house with a bow in his hands? These Kshatriyas are behaving as if they were Brahmanas, idly engaged in fire sacrifices." Commentary. There isn't even a low-grade warrior here. What to speak of one who is devoted to the Brahmanas? Thus speaking arrogantly, Arjuna glanced around at the people standing there. "But tell me, what can members of the royal order do in this dire situation?" Pointing accusingly with his index finger, Arjuna answered sarcastically, "The Kshatriyas here are behaving as if they were Brahmanas, idly engaged in fire sacrifices. What will happen to those they are supposed to protect? Therefore, all the Kshatriyas sitting in this court deserve to be killed." Wow, that's also pretty harsh of Arjuna to say that. Dhana, what are the Kshatriyas supposed to? How are they supposed to prevent the baby from dying? Dhana daratmaja prikta yatra shochanti brahmana te vairajanya veshena nata jivanta sumbhara. The rulers of a kingdom in which Brahmanas lament over lost wealth, wives, and children are merely impostors, playing the role of kings just to earn their livelihood. Commentary. Arjuna continued, Here the proof of how unqualified are the Kshatriyas present here. Where Brahmanas lament the loss of their wealth, wives, and children, the Kshatriyas living there are merely impostors, posing as rulers. Aham prajavam bhagavan rakshishye dinayoriha anistirna pratigyognim pravikshye hatakalmashaha. My lord, I will protect the progeny of you and your wife who are in such distress. And if I fail to keep this promise, I will enter fire to atone for my sin. Commentary. Arjuna addresses the husband and wife. Though the wife was present, she was silent because of her grief. Arjuna said, If I break my promise, then I will enter the fire and thereby become free of the sin for having broken my promise. Shri Brahmana Uvacha Sankarshano Vasudeva Pradumno Dhanvinam Vara Aniruddho Pratiratho Natratam Shaknuvantiyat Tatkatam nu Bhavan Karma Dushkaram Jagarishwarai Tam Chakir Shashi Bhalishyat Tanna Shraddhatmahe Vayam. The Brahmana said, so the Brahmana is speaking. Neither Sankarshan, Vasudev, Pradyumna, the best of bowmen, nor the unequaled warrior Aniruddha could save my sons. Then why do you naively attempt a feat that the almighty lords of the universe could not perform? We cannot take you seriously. Commentary. The Brahmana said, we do not believe this. Shri Arjuna Uvacha Naham Sakarshana Brahman Na Krishna Karshnire Vacha Aham Va Arjuno Nama Kandivam Yasya Dhanu. Shri Arjuna said, I am neither Lord Sankarshan, O Brahman, nor Lord Krishna, nor even Krishna's son. Rather, I am Arjuna, wielder of the Gandiva bow. Commentary. While saying, I am the wielder of the Gandiva bow, Arjuna showed his bow. Mavamangsta mama brahman, viryam triambakatoshanam, mrityum vijitya pradhane, anishyete prajaprabho. Do not minimize my ability, which was good enough to satisfy Lord Shiva, O Brahmana. I will bring back your sons, dear master, even if I have to defeat death himself in battle. Evam vrishambito vipra, falgunena parantapa, jagama swagriham prita, parthaviryam nishammayam. Thus convinced by Arjuna, O tormentor of enemies, the Brahmana went home, satisfied by having heard Arjuna's declaration of his prowess. Prasuti kala asanne bharyaya dvijasattama pahi pahi prajamrityor ityahārjuna matura. When the wife of the elevated Brahman was again about to give birth, he went to Arjuna in great anxiety and begged him, please, please protect my child from death. Commentary. Arjuna resided for 1 year in Dwarka waiting for the birth, or else Arjuna returned to Dwarka upon learning of the approaching birth. When the Brahman's wife ordered, bring Arjuna, the Brahman came in the night and spoke this verse to Arjuna. Sa upasprishya shuchambho namaskritya maheshwaram divyanyastrani sangsmritya sahajayam gandivam sajyam gandivam adadhe. I'm gonna put my computer up because I'm starting to get sleepy. After touching pure water, offering obeisances to Lord Maheshwar, and recollecting the mantras for his celestial weapons, Arjuna strung his bow, Gandiva. Commentary. Since the Brahman had disrespected Krishna, Arjuna, due to his feelings of friendship for Krishna, tactfully offered his obeisances instead to Lord Shiva. Nyaruna sutikagaram sharar nanastar yojitai tiryag urdvam adhak partash chakara sharapanjaram. Arjuna fenced in the house where the birth was taking place by shooting arrows attached to various missiles. Thus, the son of Pritha constructed a protective cage of arrows, covering the house upwards, downwards, and sideways. Tata kumara sanjato viprapatnyarudammoho sadhya darshaname apede shashariro vihayasa. The Brahmana's wife then gave birth, but after the newborn infant had been crying for a short time, he suddenly vanished into the sky in his self-same body. Commentary. The phrase apede sa shariro, his body disappeared, shows that without Krishna desiring it, neither the celestial weapons of Arjuna nor the blessings of Lord Shiva could protect the infant's body. Just checking the comments. Oops. Tadaha vipravijayam vinindan Krishna sannido modhyam pashyatam me yoham shraddhadhe klebakattanam. The Brahmana then derided Arjuna in front of Lord Krishna. Just see how foolish I was to put my faith in the bragging of a eunuch. Just see how foolish I was to put my faith in the bragging of a eunuch. Commentary. The Brahman criticized Arjuna in front of Krishna because he would not be able to relish the same pleasure by criticizing in the privacy of his own home. Na pradumno na niruddho na ramo na chakeshava yasya shekhu paritratum kunyastar aviteshvara. When neither Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Rama, nor Keshav can save a person, who else can possibly... Oh, that's him speaking. When neither Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Rama, nor Keshav can save a person, who else can possibly protect him? Commentary. The Brahmana said, who can possibly protect he whom Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Balaram, nor Keshav failed to protect? Deg Arjuna Mrishavadam, Degatma Shlaghino Dhanu, Daiva Prashtamyo Mordar, Anine Shati Durmati. To hell with that liar Arjuna! To hell with that braggart's bow! He is so foolish that he has deluded himself into thinking that he can bring back a person whom destiny has taken away. What's a braggart? Braggart is a person who boasts about their achievements or possessions. Evam shapati viprasho vidyaya falguna yayo samyam manim ashu yatraste bhagavan yama. While the wise Brahman continued to heap insults upon him, Arjuna employed a mystic incantation to go at once to Samyamani, the city of heaven where Lord Yamaraj resides. Verse 43 to 44. I'm going to stand up. 1 second. All right, that's better. I really didn't sleep very much last night. Okay, that's better. Viprapatyam achakshanas Tata Aindrim Agatpurim Agneyim Nairitim Somyam Vayavyam Varunim Atha Rasatalam Naka Prishtam Dishnyanyanyanudayuda. Whoa, that was difficult. Tato Labda Dvijosuta Hyanistirna Pratishruta Agnem Vivikshu Krishnena Pratyukta Pratishedhata. Not seeing the Brahman's child there, Arjuna went to the cities of Agni, Niriti, Soma, Vayu, and Varuna. With weapons at the ready, he searched through all the domains of the universe, from the bottom of the subterranean region to the roof of heaven. Finally, not having found the Brahman's son anywhere, Arjuna decided to enter the sacred fire, having failed to keep his promise. But just as he was about to do so, Lord Krishna stopped him and spoke the following words. Commentary. Arjuna went in all directions, starting with Yamaloka and south. He went north to the moon planet, northwest, south, east, southwest, east, and west. Because Arjuna trusted Lord Shiva implicitly as his guru, he did not bother to search the northeast, which is the celestial abode of Lord Shiva. Text 44. Arjuna was prevented from entering fire by Krishna, who stopped him. Just checking the comments. Hare Krishna, Rajbhuvan Yadav ji. Darshaye drunungste mavagyatmanamatmana yete na kirtan vimalam manushya stapayishyanti. Lord Krishna said, I will show you the Brahman sons, so please do not despise yourself like this. These same men who now criticize us will soon establish our spotless fame. Commentary. Krishna said, Arjuna, do not belittle yourself like that. Arjuna replied, do not stop me, otherwise people will criticize me as a kshatriya. Krishna, the same ones who are criticizing will establish our fame. Alternately, even those who criticize will establish our glory. There is another version, Yene ha kirtam vimalam. But according to Sridhar Swami, this is an interpolation brought about to preserve the correct meter. Iti samphashya Bhagavan Arjunena Saheshvara Devyam Sārātha-mastaya Pratichim Dishama Vishat. Having thus advised, the Supreme Personality of Godhead had Arjuna join him on his divine chariot, and together they set off together toward the east. Sapta dvipam sasindumscha sapta sapta girinatha loka lokam tatatitya vivesha su mahattama. The Lord's chariot passed over the 7 islands of the middle universe, each with its ocean and its 7 principal mountains. Then it crossed the Loka boundary and entered the vast region of total darkness. Tatrashva shaibya sugriva mega pushpa blahaka tamasi bhrashtagatayo babhuvur bharatarshaba. Tandrishtva Bhagavan Krishna Mahayogeshwareshwara Sahasraditya Sankasham Sachakram Prahinot Pura. In that darkness, the chariot's horses, Shaibya, Sugriva, Meghapushpa, and Balahaka, those chariots' horses lost their way. Seeing them in this condition, O best of the Bharatas, Lord Krishna, the Supreme Master of all masters of yoga, sent his Sudarshan disc before the chariot. That disc shone like thousands of suns. Commentary. By the phrase tamasi bhrashta gatayo, the horses lost their way in the darkness, we should understand the following. Krishna's transcendental horses had descended from Vaikuntha to participate in his earthly pastimes. Since Sri Krishna was pretending to be a finite human being, his steeds now acted confused to astonish Arjuna and to enhance the drama of the situation for all who would one day hear this pastime. Tamasughoram gananam kritam mahar vidarayar bhuri tarena rochisha manojavam nirvivishe sudarshanam gunachuto rama sharo yatachamu. The Lord's Sudarshan disc penetrated the darkness with its blazing effulgence. Racing forward with the speed of the mind, it cut through the fearsome dense oblivion, expanded from primeval matter. An arrow shot from Lord Ram's bow cuts through his enemy's army. Commentary: piercing that great dense darkness, a transformation of material nature, the Ṭhākura entered it. Dvarena chakrānupatena tattama param jyotir anantaparam samashnuvanam prasamiksha phalguna prataditaksho pidadhe kshini yuge. Following the Sudarshan, the chariots went beyond the darkness and reached the endless spiritual light of the all-pervasive Brahmajyoti. As Arjuna beheld this glaring effulgence, his eyes hurt, so he shut them. Commentary: after breaking through each of the 8 concentric shells of the universe, the Sudarshan disc led Krishna's chariot into the limitless, self-effulgent atmosphere of the spiritual sky. There, Arjuna saw the brilliant effulgence of the Brahma-Jyoti beyond the darkness of material nature. Seeing that most excellent spiritual light spread everywhere, Arjuna closed his eyes. Krishna and Arjuna's journey to Vaikuntha is also narrated in Vangsha, wherein Sri Krishna tells Arjuna about the nature of this brilliant light known as Brahman effulgence. Brahma tejo mayam deyam mahatyad drishtavan asi aham sa bharata shishta mat tejas tat sanatanam. The divine expanse of the Brahman effulgence you have seen is none other than myself, O best of the Bharatas. It is my own eternal effulgence. Prakriti sa mama para vyakta sanatani tam pravishya bhavantiha mukta yoga vidutma. It comprises my eternal spiritual energy, both manifest and unmanifest. The foremost yoga experts of this world will enter within it and become liberated. Sa sankhyanam gati partha yoginam cha tapasvinam tatam paramam brahma sarva vibhajate jagat mamaiva targanam tejo gyatum arhasi bharata. It is the supreme goal of the followers of Sankhya, O Partha, as well as that of the yogis, ascetics. It is the supreme absolute truth, manifesting the varieties of the entire created cosmos. You should understand this Brahma-Jyoti, O Bharata, to be my concentrated personal effulgence. Tata pravishta salilam nabhasvata Baliya Saijar Briharurmi Bhushanam Tatradbhutam Vai Pavanam Dyumattamam Prajanmanistam Bhasahasrashobhitam. From that region they entered a body of water resplendent with huge waves being churned by a mighty wind. Within that ocean, Arjuna saw an amazing palace, more radiant than anything he had ever seen before. Its beauty enhanced by thousands of ornamental pillars bedecked with brilliant gems. Its beauty was enhanced by ornamental pillars bedecked with brilliant gems. Okay. Oh, oops. I said the west and I said the east by mistake. Sorry about that. Okay, so now verse. Oops, we're reading a commentary. They entered the causal ocean, ornamented with huge waves agitated by a strong wind, and saw a wondrous abode called Mahakal. Sridhar Swami describes the city by quoting the Mritu Yunjaya Tantra. Brahmandasyor tato devi Brahmana samahat tat urdham diri Vishnu nam tar urdham rudra rup rupinam tad urdam cha mahavishnur mahadevyastad urdam gam pare puri mahadevya kala sarva bhara vayavahat tatha Shri Brahma Piyusha Varidhir Nitanuttana Tasya Tire Mahakala Sattvagrahak Grupadrik. O Devi, above this universe is the great celestial abode of Brahma. Above that are the abodes of the expansions of Lord Vishnu, and above this are the abodes of the Rudra expansions of Lord Shiva. Above this is the abode of Mahavishnu, above which is the supreme residence of Mahadevi. Above her abode lies time, who strikes fear in all. Beyond it is the ever-fresh spiritual ocean of the nectar of Brahman, along whose shore Lord Mahakal appears as the supreme controller of all beings. In this context, Brahma's abode is Satloka. The abode of the expansions of Vishnu refers to a material planet called Vaikuntha, where the demigod sons of Mother Vikunta reside. Interesting. The abode of the expansions of Rudra is Rudraloka, located within the covering of within the abode of expansions of Rudra is Rudraloka, located within the covering shell of false ego, Ahankar. The abode of Mahavishnu is the Mahavishnu Loka, located within the covering shell of the Mahatattva. The abode of Mahadevi is Mahadevi Loka, located within the covering shell of unmanifest Prakriti. Who's trying to call me? Pankaj. I'll get it later. The ocean of the nectar of Brahman is the causal ocean. Mahakal, Mahakul Vaikuntanath, is the lord of Mahavaikuntha, also known as Mahakalapuram, situated in the spiritual sky within the water of the causal ocean. I remember Srivas and somebody talking about that. The verb dadarsha sa appearing in verse 54 is understood in this and the following verse. This abode was the most dazzling among all effulgent things. 1 second. Hare Krishna, Pankaj Prabhu. I'm giving a class right now. I'll call you right after. I'm not giving a class, whatever. I'm just reading. Tasmin Mahabhogam Anantai. Tasmin Mahabhogam Anantam Adbhutam Sahasra Murdhanya Panamanidhubhi Vibrajamanam Dvigunekshanolbanam Sita Chalabham Shittikanta Jivam. We're almost at the end. In that place was the huge, awe-inspiring serpent, Ananta Shesh. He shone brilliantly with the radiance emanating from the gems on thousands of hoods and reflecting from twice as many fearsome eyes. He resembled white Mount Kailash, and his necks and tongues were dark blue. Whoa, that cool description. Commentary. Why is he still calling me? My God. Okay, anyways. First in the palace, Arjuna saw the huge serpent Ananta, who was as white and effulgent as Mount Kailash. Ananta's necks and tongues were dark blue. The Amarkosh dictionary says, Shiti Dhavla Mechako. Shiti can mean white or dark blue. Okay, let me just check the comments really quick. Okay. Tadarshatar bhoga sukasanam vibhum mahanubhavam purushottamottamam sandram buddham supishangavasasam prasanna vaktra ruchira yatekshanam mahamani vrata kiriti kundala prabha parikshita sahasramtalam pralamba charvashta Bhujam Sakostubam Shrivatsalakshmam Vanamalaya Vritam Sunandam Danda Pramokai Saparshadhais Chakradivir Murtir Dharar Nijayudai Pushtya Shriya Kirtajaya Kilardibhir Nishevyamanam Parameshtinam Patim. Arjuna then saw the omnipresent and omnipotent Supreme Personality of Godhead, Mahavishnu, sitting at ease on a serpent's bed. His bluish complexion was the color of a dense rain cloud. He wore a beautiful yellow garment. His face looked charming. His broad eyes were most attractive, and he had 8 long, handsome arms. His profuse locks of hair were bathed on all sides in the brilliance reflected from the clusters of precious jewels decorating his crown and earrings. He wore the Kaustuva gem, the mark of Srivatsa, and a garland of forest flowers. Serving that topmost of all lords were his personal attendants, headed by Sunanda and Nanda. Chakra and other weapons in their personified his chakra and other weapons in their personified forms, his consort potencies Pushti, Shi, Kirti, and Aja, and all his various mystic powers. Wow, that's interesting. His chakra and other weapons in their personified forms. So that does that mean like with forms with arms and legs, eyes, mouth, like that, like human-like forms? I wonder what their personified forms mean. Probably, right? Commentary. Text 54 to 55. Arjuna saw Vishnu relaxing upon the comfortable seat of Ananta's body. Among the 3 Purushas, Brahma Vishnu, the Guna avatar Kshirodaksha Vishnu is supreme. Greater than him, however, is Mahavishnu, the creator of the Mahat Tattva. Greater than him is Lord Purushottam, Vishnu in Vaikuntha, who is herein called Mahakala. Text 56. The personified forms of Vishnu weapons such as the chakra were there, each displaying the respective symbols above their own heads. Vavanda Atmanam Anantamachuto Jishnu Ṭhākura Jata Sadvasa Tavaha Bhuma Parameshtinam Prabhur Vednanjali Sasmitam Urjaya Gira. Lord Krishna offered homage to himself in this boundless form, and Arjuna, astonished at the sight of Lord Mahavishnu, bowed down as well. Then, as the 2 of them stood before him with joined palms, the Almighty Mahavishnu, Supreme Master of all rule of the universe, smiled and spoke to them in a voice full of solemn authority. Commentary. As Krishna offered obeisances to his own deity during the worship of Govardhan Hill and Vrajlila, also Krishna paid homage to himself and his Vishnu expansion for the purpose of playing out his pastimes. This is stated in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 10:24-36. Tasmai namo vrajajanai saha chakra atmatmane. Atmanatmane. Together with the Vrajavasis, Shri Krishna bowed down to this form of Govardhan Hill, thus in effect offering obeisances to himself. Krishna is Ananta, possessed of countless manifestations. This 8-armed form of Mahavishnu is a Krishna is Achyuta, infallible, in the sense that he never fails to act like a human being in his pastimes as a cowherd boy of Vraj. Thus, in order to preserve the human-like quality of his pastimes, Krishna bowed down to this 8-armed Vishnu, who, though actually Krishna's own plenary expansion, did not offer obeisances to Krishna because he was playing the role of Supreme Lord. Arjuna perceives that this form of Vishnu had even more opulence than Krishna, and thus he became astonished. The word Bhuma indicates that Mahavishnu was exhibiting even more personal majesty than Krishna himself by appearing before Krishna and Arjuna as the Lord of multitudes of Brahma, ruling over millions of universes. Mahavishnu then spoke confident words in order to bewilder Arjuna in obedience to Sri Krishna's intention. Vishnu's smile indicates he was privately thinking, "My dear Krishna, by your desire I will describe my superiority, even though I am your At the same time, however, I will subtly imply in my statements that the supreme position of your beauty and character and power and the fact that you are the source from whom I emanate. I will imply the fact that you are the source from whom I emanate. Just see how clever I am, that in front of Arjuna, I am confidentially divulging my true identity as non-different from you. Mahavishnu's smile indicates his request that Krishna later revealed to Arjuna the truth about his actual position. Dvijatmaja me yuvayor didrikshuna mayopanita bhuvi dharma guptaye kalavatirnav avanir bharasuran hadveha bhuyas tvarayetam antime. Lord Mahavishnu said, I brought the Brahman's sons here because I wanted to see the two of you, my expansions, who have descended to save the principles of religion. As soon as you finish killing the demons who burden the earth, quickly come back here to me. Commentary. Mahavishnu said, you two who have appeared as my parts, please come back quickly to me. He says this to bewilder Arjuna. The real meaning is, you too, who have descended along with your kalas, your personal energies, should kindly return to me after killing the demons who burden the earth. Please quickly send these demons here to me for the sake of their liberation. The verb is a dual imperative form. Anti is an undeclined word meaning towards proximity. Let them come here and be liberated. It is stated in Sri Harivangsha and in the second canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam that the path of gradual liberation passes through the intermediate station of Lord Mahavishnu's abode, outside the eighth shell of the universe. Hari Bol, everybody. Sorry, I mentioned before that I'm doing an X today because Parikrama is starting. We're at 99% of the book. We're like nearly at the very end of the entire 10th canto. I think it's 60 verses and we're at verse 59, so we're going to be done very soon. Let me just check the comments. Okay. Purnakama yuvam naranarayana vrishi dharmam acharatam stitya shabho lokasangraham. Although all your desires are completely fulfilled, O best of exalted personalities, for the benefit of the people in general, you should continue to exemplify religious behavior as the sages Nara Narayan. Commentary. Mahavishnu said, follow dharma to teach others. Okay, this is the last verse. Ittadishto bhagavata to krishna paramestina om ityanam yabhumanam adaya dvijadarakan Nyavartetam sakam dhama samprahristo yatagatam vipraya dadatu putran yatarupam yatavaya. Thus instructed by the Supreme Lord of the topmost planet, Krishna and Arjuna assented by chanting Om, and then they bowed down to the Almighty Lord Mahavishnu. Taking the Brahman sons with them, they returned with great delight to Dwarka by the same path along which they had come. There they presented the Brahman with his sons, who were in the same infant bodies in which they had been lost. Nishamya Vaishnavam Dhama Partha Parama Vismita Yatkinchit Porusham Pungsam Mene Krishnanukampitam. Having seen the domain of Lord Vishnu, Arjuna was totally amazed. He concluded that whatever extraordinary power a person exhibits can only be a manifestation of Sri Krishna's mercy. Commentary. Astonished to see the extraordinary grandeur of Mahavishnu, Arjuna said, just see, even though I am a mere mortal, by Krishna's mercy I have seen the Supreme Godhead, the root cause of everything. Then, after a moment, Arjuna thought again, why did Lord Vishnu say that he took away the Brahman's children out of a desire to see Krishna? Why would the Supreme Personality of Godhead hanker to see his own expansion? Perhaps it is some temporary whim of his. But since he said the drikshuna instead of the driksh, where the specific suffix shuna carries a sense of permanent characteristic, not a temporary one, it has to be concluded that he has always desired to see Krishna and myself. Even granted that this is so, why couldn't he simply see Krishna at Dwarka? After all, Lord Mahavishnu is the all-pervading creator of the universe, which he holds like an amalaki fruit in his hands. Is it that he could not see Krishna in Dwarka because Krishna does not allow anyone to see him without his special sanction? Well, maybe he doesn't have that power, but still, he comes to Dwarka every year to steal the children of the Brahmana. Why does he not at that time see Krishna, who is visible even to the oil seller and to the betel nut peddler living there? Perhaps he could not see Krishna in Dwarka because Krishna cannot be seen without Krishna's desiring it. And why also would Lord Mahavishnu, the compassionate master of all Brahmanas, have repeatedly tormented and elevated Brahman year after year? He must have perpetrated such a vile act only because of his strong desire to see Krishna. All right, he may have acted improperly for that reason, but why couldn't he have sent his servants to kidnap the Brahman's sons? Why did he himself have to come to Dwarka? Was stealing them out of Krishna's capital so difficult that no one but Vishnu himself could hope to accomplish it? I can understand that he intended to cause so much distress to a Brahman of Krishna's city that Krishna would be unable to tolerate it. Then he would grant Lord Vishnu his audience. Inspired by Vishnu's form as a supersoul within, the distressed Brahman came to pour out his complaints to Krishna in person after the demise of each of his infant sons. Thus it is clear that Sri Krishna's status of godhood is superior to Lord Mahavishnu's. Having thought in this way, Arjuna was totally amazed. Then Arjuna asked Krishna whether these were actually the facts of the matter. Shri Krishna's reply is related in the Harivangsha. Maddarshanartham te bala hritastena mahatmana viprartham eshyate Krishna mat samipam na chanyata. It was to see me that he, Supreme Soul, stole the children. He believed, only on a Brahman's behalf will Krishna come to see me, not otherwise. Krishna further told Arjuna, I did not go there, however, for the Brahman's sake. I went there, my friends, just to save your life. If it had been for the Brahman's sake, that I traveled to Vaikuntha, I would have done so after his first child was abducted. The reason I went after the 9th child was stolen was not from obligation to Vishnu, but out of obligation to you. Thus, hearing the full truth from Krishna's mouth, Arjuna thought that whatever prowess is possessed by any person, even including the Lord of the spiritual sky, has been obtained only by the mercy of Krishna. In this way, we should understand that in this last portion of the 10th canto, from the prayers of the personified Vedas to the end of the narration, to this point is found the description of the supreme position of Krishna, the Ashray Tattva, who is the subject of the 10th canto. According to Srila Sridhar Swami, although this pastime occurred before the battle of Kurukshetra, it is recounted here at the end of the 10th canto, under the general heading of the supremacy of Krishna's glories. I thought we were at the end. Oh, okay. There's no more purport, so. Tidrishani anekani viryani ha pradarsh bhuje vishan kramyam ije chaturjitar makai. Lord Krishna exhibited many other similar heroic pastimes in this world. He apparently enjoyed the pleasure of ordinary human life, and he performed greatly potent firesides. Pravavarsha kilam kaman prajasu brahmanadishu yatakalam. Decline. Yatakalam Yataivendro Bhagavan Shrishtamas. The Lord, having demonstrated his supremacy at suitable times, he showered down all desirable things upon the Brahmanas and his other subjects, just as Indra pours down his rain. Hatva nripan adharmishtam ghatayitvarjuna divi anjasa vartayam asa dharmam dharma sutaivi. Now that he killed many wicked kings and engaged devotees such as Arjuna in killing others, the Lord could easily assure the execution of religious principles through the agency of such pious rulers as Yudhishthir. Thus ends the commentary on the 89th chapter of the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam for the pleasure of the devotees in accordance with the previous acharyas. All right, so we finally made it to the very last chapter of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, chapter 90, the summary of Lord Krishna's glories. Hey, Mom, I'm going to call you back in like 5 minutes. Okay, great. Awesome. Yes, okay, I'm going to call you in 5 minutes. Haribol. Sorry about that. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Sorry, I meant to say it at the end of the 10th canto. Yes. All right. Thank you so much for sticking around. This is our longest Bhagavatam reading ever in 2.5 years, however long we've been reading for. So thanks for sticking this whole time till the end. Jai Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandhar Giridhari Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki Jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju ki Jai, Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtatarashata Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Narayan Goswami Maharaj Śrīla Gurudev ki Jai, Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtatarashata Śrīmad Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtatarashata Śrīmad Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Śrīla Prabhupada ki Jai, Nityalila Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Śrīla Gorksharas Babaji Maharaj ki Jai, Nityalila Pravishta Śrīla Satchidananda Bhakti Ṭhākura ki Jai, Nityalila Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai, Shri Rupa Nugoriya Guru Varga ki Jai, Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jeev Gopal Bhatta Dasha Gunath Shar Goswami Prabhu ki Jai, Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki Jai, Nam Acharya Śrīla Haridas Ṭhākura ki Jai, Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai, Shri Kshetra Mandala, Gaura Mandala, Vraja Mandala, Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki Jai, Sarva Avishrabradatta Giriraj Maharaj ki Jai, Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kunda ki Jai, Shri Devi Ganga Devi ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki Jai, Shri Bhakti Devi ki Jai, Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya ki Jai, Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki Jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai, Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki Jai, Śrīla Viśvanātha Cakravartī Ṭhākura ki Jai, Sārārtha-darśinī Vritti ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki Jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshava Shri Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Sattvatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyai Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you all tomorrow for the very last chapter of the 10th canto. After, I don't know how long we've been reading the 10th canto for. I feel like it's been 6 months, or maybe even longer, but I don't actually know when we started. But yeah, really grateful for all of you joining, and although one thing tomorrow, I might not be able to read live because we're going to be doing Sankalpa tomorrow and also putting Umadidi's ashes in the Ganga, like I mentioned before. So maybe I'll make a pre-recorded video. It would be really nice to be here live with you though. So maybe I can go to the Ganga, quickly do, and then come back early. That might be possible. I'm going to find out the schedule and then I'll see what I can do. But anyhow, tomorrow will be the last chapter. Oh yeah, it's been longer than 7 months because we started the 10th canto before Nitai was born. So yeah, wow. I'm excited to start the 11th canto. Also, it's sad that we're ending the 10th canto, but I am looking forward to the 11th canto for sure. Oh, you mean wait for the last chapter? Like after Gaur Purnima? I don't know. We can discuss it in our Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam WhatsApp group. How about that? I mean, that is a good idea. Maybe we could even end on Gaur Purnima Day. That would be like an auspicious ending to the 10th canto. And then we could read about Mahaprabhu's appearance and everything. Everybody can share their thoughts in our Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam WhatsApp group. And if you aren't in our Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam WhatsApp group, I will share the link right here for you to join. And you can all give me your opinion. And see, I'm copying the link and I'm pasting it. Now you'll see it in the comment section. So everybody can share their opinion. Maybe I can make a poll. You can make polls in WhatsApp groups, so I'll do that. I'll make a poll and we can decide what to do. All right. Jai Shri Radhe. See you all whenever. Haribol. Okay, Haribol everybody. I'm ending now. Haribol Avatarani Mataji and Hari Haribol.